And good afternoon. You're listening to Count Hudnall. This is the Count Hudnall Show. Coming to you from our studios right here in exciting El Paso, Texas. Gateway to the Old West and the most haunted city in the country. Well, today's November 21st, 325th day of the year. Just 40 days remain to this year's over with. Holidays observances. It's World Television Day, National Stuffing Day, National Gingerbread Cookie Day, and World Hello Day. It's recommended on this day you greet everybody with a friendly smile and wave. National Red Mitten Day, Funeral Celebrant Day, Alaskatello Day, and for those who are not familiar with that, celebrates a creature that never existed, kind of like an honest politician. A moose with tusk and a walrus's body. This unusual mix was born from Alaska humor. Stands as a symbol of the state's love for playful stories and quirky traditions. Substitute Educators Day. World Vasectomy Day. False Confession Day. Enterprise Week. Artes Mundi. Elephant Roundup in Surin, Book Week in Scotland, National Farm City Week, U.S. Antibiotic Awareness Week, Cairo International Film Festival, one of the big ones for the movie lovers, World AMR Awareness Week, Geography Awareness Week, Road Safety Week, and American Education Week. I got the hiccups. Famous people born on this date: Nikki Bella, Goldie Hawn, Rain Phoenix. And on that note, let's go see what's happening in the news. The feds secretly seized House Chairman's phone data while he was actually overseeing the DOJ. The Department of Justice subpoenaed the personal phone records of House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan in 2022. Seeking the Ohio Republicans' phone data covering more than a 2-year period. The subpoena, which was discovered by Fox News, shows a federal prosecutor who later worked on special counsel Jack Smith's January 6th investigation ordered Verizon to hand over the phone data, also known as toll records. They wanted to reach all the way back to January 1st, 2020. The request appears to be the most expansive yet of the publicly known subpoenas investigating senators and current and former House members during Arctic frost. Investigation that led Smith bringing election and related charges against President Trump. Yes, they were determined to wipe out all the Republicans. Well, luckily for the American people, a lot of this has come to light, and like when you cut on the light and pull back the rug, the cockroaches are running. Well, a Florida serial killer fears has spread after 3 women were found dead in 3 days. The Florida authorities are pushing back on social media rumors about a serial killer on the loose in Jacksonville, Florida, after 3 women were found dead in separate incidents over a 3-day period. Jacksonville Sheriff's Office addressed the speculation directly on Tuesday, emphasizing the cases are unrelated and urging calm as the investigation continues. There have been rumors circulating about a serial killer on the loose in Jacksonville. And we can, according to the Sheriff's Office, we can confirm these claims are false. They said investigators are investigating each case individually, following the facts and evidence, and adding there's no danger to the public related to these incidents. The mere fact people are found dead is no reason to be concerned. Well, a pro-life influencer was attacked in New York City. Filed a lawsuit after DA Alvin Bragg drops the case. He didn't want to be bothered with little cases like that. He's got the big ones to worry about, like continuing to go after President Trump. A conservative pro-life influencer went viral after being punched in the face during a street interview in New York City. And she's filed a lawsuit against her alleged attacker. Savannah Clavin Antayo, pro-life activist, host of the YouTube channel The Patriot Voice, says she was conducting a man-on-the-street interview for the organization Live Action on April 3rd when she was hit by Brianna Rivers, 30, of the Bronx. According to the complaint, filed November 18th in Bronx Supreme Court, Craven Antayo went to the emergency room for stitches after the attack, including more than $3,000 in medical bills. Her attorneys at the Thomas More Society alleged that Rivers was as knowingly, willfully, maliciously continued to mock Savannah and her views online in order to further inflict emotional distress. Of course, the Alvin Bragg is busy with much more important things than worrying about somebody being assaulted in the streets of New York City. Well, the CDC changes vaccine and autism stance after years of controversy. They have updated its website with a new stance on the potential link between vaccines and autism. New wording on the CDC site states that the claim vaccines don't cause autism is not an evidence-based claim because studies have not ruled out the possibility that infant vaccines cause autism. Studies supporting a link have been ignored by health authorities. Well, of course, the brilliant researchers, of course, have their own opinions, and their opinions count more than evidence. Well, the agency noted that the statement, vaccines do not cause autism, has been historically disseminated by the CDC and other federal health agencies in an effort to prevent vaccine hesitancy. Now, people had their entire careers destroyed by their refusal to take various vaccines. I know during COVID, a lot of us were ordered to go get the COVID vaccine. Luckily, nothing happened to my wife or myself, but I know a lot of people who did have side effects to the vaccine. Well, the cheerleader's cruise ship death unravels amid a bitter family strife and a lot of questions at sea. Anna Kempner, Florida teen and high school senior, was remembered for her bright spirit. She was found dead on board the Carnival Horizon during an early November Caribbean cruise, prompting a federal investigation and igniting a public reckoning among the adults in her life. As agents go through ship records, a widening circle of court filings and interviews has laid bare deep rifts in her blended family. The FBI is leading the probe after the ship returned to port as scheduled. So far, no criminal charges have been filed. In an emergency motion filed in Brevard County, her stepmother, Chantel Kepner, formerly Chantel Hudson, through her attorney, Millicent Athanason, asked a judge to postpone a December hearing and a proceeding with her ex-husband due to the FBI investigation into the death of the young lady. She's found dead on the Carnival cruise ship on November 7th. In fact, her body had been wrapped in a blanket and stuffed underneath the bed, which I think is suspicious, but that's just me. Well, Jelly Rolls unveiled a dramatic transformation without his signature beard after his big weight loss. The 40-year-old Save Me singer, whose real name is Jason Bradley DeFord, took to Instagram on Thursday to share his new look after shaving off his beard, which he's had for over 10 years. By now, you probably figured out I looked like a Ninja Turtle, he said in the video. One of the reasons I even started growing a beard was I was so obese. Just easier to cover up what was happening there. The looks like a walking advertisement for a tattoo parlor, personally. Well, ALC, who believes she's presidential material, sounds off on a Trump Mamdani meeting as in New York City's mayor-elect prepares to take office. She said Mayor-elect Mamdani is prepared to meet with anybody ahead of his meeting with President Trump. Asked by a reporter on Thursday what her expectations were for the meeting, she just said, "We'll see." And of course, she's in a position to know everything about everything. What prepares you to be president, of course, is a history of being a bartender. Because behind that bar, you can solve every problem in the world. Well, immigrants have been fined up to $1.8 million for remaining in the U.S., and they're suing the Trump administration over it. The daily penalties of $998 have been levied against more than 21,500 migrants, whose lawyers say they were attempting to comply with federal immigration laws. That's why they snuck across the border, don't you know? The fines were implemented to encourage migrants to leave the country. The lawyer said their clients were slapped with ruinous civil fines that are grossly disproportionate to the gravity of any immigration violation. They're saying the fines are unconstitutional, and so is telling them they need to leave the country, of course. The lawsuit filed in Massachusetts, of all places, on behalf of two immigrant women seek class action status to represent people facing fines that lawyers say have totaled more than $6 billion under President Trump's mass deportation policies. Yes, we should give them free housing and free food and free medical care, and actually give them money so that they don't feel oppressed. Well, Jen Psaki says the White House press corps has become Kremlin-esque. Former White House press secretary Jen Psaki accused the Trump administration of forming a Kremlin-esque press corps full of sycophants during briefings. She served as press secretary under the Biden administration. She discussed her time behind the podium with journalist Katie Couric on Wednesday, contrasting her experience with that of the current administration. The MS Now host, yes, that is the MSNBC spinoff, argued that more recently the White House has been reshaping the people in the press pool. She said more and more of the questions there are asked by sycophants, by people who aren't asking about news that the American people care about. Now, when she was representing President Biden, she was talking about a whole new world. But of course, it's all different now. Well, a man's been caught on camera approaching and spraying an unknown substance toward the Yellowstone wolves, according to park rangers. They've tracked down and cited a man who was seen on video approaching a wild wolf pack at Yellowstone National Park and spraying them with a suspicious substance. Footage showed the unidentified man hopping toward the unbothered animals, seemingly taunting them as they retreated. And he was backing up. The wolves started running toward him, which point she started spraying an unknown substance in their direction. The National Park Service official said the incident was reported to the rangers, who tracked the man down and cited him. It's unclear what led the man to make the bizarre brazen advance, or what the spray was that he sprayed toward the animals. While the incident still remains under investigation, it doesn't appear the animals were harmed. Well, Zoran Mandami has revealed what he plans to discuss with President Trump in the Oval Office. I'm sure he wants support for his plan to give everything free to everybody in New York City. That's what socialists do, you know. According to doctors, starving cancer could be key to slowing down the disease growth. What we eat plays a major role in our health and well-being, especially in the development of chronic disease. On a recent episode of Dr. Mark Hyman's podcast, The Dr. Hyman Show, the physician and Function Health co-founder spoke about how eating habits can change the course of an illness. Podcast guest Dr. Jason Fung, a Canadian physician, author, and researcher, joined Hyman to discuss how fasting may help reverse diseases like cancer. Yes, all kinds of strange things can help affect our health. The whole idea of fasting is that you're trying to put the body into some sort of regenerative maintenance mode, he said, because what we recognized is you can go into growth mode, or you can go into sort of this cell maintenance repair mode. Even better, you can sit in the backyard with a drum and talk to the gods of the air. Well, according to Jesse Waters, chronic TDS is plaguing the entire Democratic Party. TDS, of course, is Trump derangement syndrome. Well, the suspect with a lengthy criminal history who was released after being accused of a violent August attack has been federally charged after allegedly lighting a young woman on fire Wednesday on the Chicago Blue Line train and yelling, "Burn," the B word. I've been told I must be careful about the use of English language. Lawrence Reed, 50 years old, is charged with committing a terrorist attack or violence against the mass transportation system, according to a recently filed criminal complaint. Federal prosecutors allege he intentionally used gasoline and a lighter to set a woman on fire on board the CTA Blue Line train at about 9:30 in the evening on Monday. U.S. District Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois, Andrew Boutros, said the woman was minding her own business and reading her phone when seated in the middle of the train car. When Reed came up to her from the back of the car, doused her head to toe with gasoline, and tried to set her on fire. The woman ran to the back of the car as he ignited the rest of the liquid in the bottle and used it to try to set her on fire. Footage allegedly showed Reed watching the woman engulfed in flame as she tried to put out the fire by rolling on the floor. Well, when the train stopped at Clark and Lake, she complained. The complaint noted that the victim was still on fire and managed to exit before collapsing on the platform. Two Good Samaritans came up and put out the blaze that was burning her. Graphic video footage captured at the scene showed Chicago fire and EMS workers attempting to load the woman into an ambulance. She suffered severe burns on her face and body, remains in critical condition. Well, Reed has quite an interesting criminal history. But of course, he's misunderstood. That's what the Soros-backed DAs will tell you. He should be understood and treated gently as opposed to charged with this heinous crime. Well, uncovered documents show top teachers union has been guiding gender transitions and bashing conservatives. One of the top teachers unions in the country is facing criticism over an upcoming training session to instruct members on how to go through a gender transition at work, including the best practices for using gender pronouns and combating transphobia, also while being provided with literature labeling conservatives' opposition as villains. Well, ex-Prince Andrew is fighting tooth and nail to keep his daughters protected from royal fallout. The royal experts are convinced that ex-Prince Andrew did not surrender his titles out of duty. He did it for his daughters. He clung on to his last snippet of status for as long as possible, but what he was not going to do was allow his daughters, who he's so protective of, to be stripped of their titles and moral life. Yes, the investigation into his involvement with Epstein is still going on. He could still face criminal charges. But of course, we should understand that he's just misunderstood. And that Epstein was just giving him dating advice, like the individual from Harvard. Paulina Porizkova, 60, stripped down to her underwear to show the imperfections of what makes us perfect. She stripped down to her lingerie as she shared a message about body positivity and embracing aging with confidence. 60-year-old supermodel posed a "Get Ready With Me" video, a popular Instagram trend in which the users show their routines and talk to their followers while getting dressed in the mornings. At the beginning of the clip, she stood in a living room while wearing a beige bathrobe with matching slippers and glasses. According to what she had to say, there's something very calming in watching videos of women getting dressed for the day. And so here's my contribution. Then she untied the bathrobe and turned around, wearing a lacy lavender-colored brown beige underwear set. Well, it takes all kinds to make a world. Well, a House Democrat serving since 1993 has announced she's not going to seek re-election. Representative Nadia Velasquez of New York, the first Puerto Rican woman ever elected to Congress, announced she's not going to seek re-election next year. She's been in office over 30 years. She said, for more than 3 decades, I've had the privilege of a lifetime serving the people of New York City in the U.S. Congress. After much reflection, I've decided it's been my last term in Congress. It's not an easy decision. I believe the time is right for me to move on and for a new generation of leaders to step forward. Yes, we need to find some more socialists to take over all the leadership positions in New York City. Well, holiday crime fears are growing as something called jugging, where thieves target shoppers carrying cash and gifts, is becoming very well known. Shoppers are being warned to remain vigilant ahead of their holiday errands as thieves are turning to this popular crime trend to make off with quick cash. The trend, which, as I say, has been nicknamed jugging, involves criminals following victims from ATMs and banks or stores in an effort to steal their cash or new purchases. That's according to the FBI. Law enforcement officers typically see a rise in incidents around the holidays when shoppers often walk around with large sums of cash or high-cost gifts in their possession. Jugging, according to retired NYPD officer Bill Stanton, is just a slang term for crimes of opportunity. Need to think about these predators, where they're crocodiles or water creatures that hang out by the watering hole. And in this case, it's an ATM or an ATM-type machine. I've had more than one incident where it appears somebody, when I was in an ATM, which I don't use that often, was waiting for me to pull out money that he could grab. Well, Brendan Fraser says America's doing it wrong compared to Japan after what he called an eye-opening experience. He's reflecting on the cultural differences he noticed between Japan and the U.S. After spending 4 months living and working overseas, the Oscar winner shared a candid and often lighthearted take on American culture. During his appearance on Late Night with Seth Meyers, the host asked the actor, "How was your reintroduction to American culture?" He said, "I got back and I went, we're doing it wrong. We don't know how to eat, use public transport. We don't have jetpacks yet. I thought we could work on our manners a little bit more." Well, the audience, of course, laughed and applauded. Well, Jaws star Richard Dreyfuss' children claim that the actor cut him off amid an explosive family rift. Richard Dreyfuss' son has revealed he's been estranged from the legendary Jaws actor for the past 2 years. Ben Dreyfuss revealed he's not in contact with his father, neither his 2 siblings, in post he made on X that have now been deleted. He said, "Everybody assumes my siblings and I are wealthy from our dad, and we're all a bit too uncomfortable to make it clear, but we have no money from my dad." He said his father didn't have any money. If he did, we wouldn't get it, since we've been estranged ever since some complicated family drama played out with Me Too. Well, I guess he's not a Nepo baby. Well, Coast Guard defends dropping hate label for swastikas and nooses and Confederate flags. They're implementing a new policy change, no longer refer to displays of swastikas and nooses as hate incidents, and distributing new guidance to remove the term hate incident from its vocabulary altogether. Yes, we should be understanding about these symbols of hate. Well, we've been talking about Area 51 and the Roswell incident. I spoke at Roswell for over 10 years before the individual who got control of their board decided I wasn't politically correct because my books outsold his. So it's now he walks around like a pocket Hitler. Well, yesterday I started talking about an interview done with Master Sergeant Lewis Rickett. radar operator stationed at Roswell in 1947. He said, I was told to move a sealed unit to Hangar 84. No details. Thing was leaking a strange odor, sweet metallic. I looked through a crack in the seal and saw a face. Big black eyes, no eyelids, no nose, just slits. Skin looked like gray clay, like a child's drawing of an alien, except it was real. The very next day, a classified telegram was sent to the White House. That classified telegram, according to reports, read unusual biological specimens retrieved, potential extraterrestrial origin. Immediate containment advice suggests formation of a scientific overnight committee under the code name Majestic 12. President Truman was briefed in person 3 days later. Order was signed, which was the birth of the infamous MJ-12, group of elite scientists and generals and intelligence officers assigned with one task: burying the truth. Well, as the autopsies continued inside Hangar 84, which is at Roswell Army Airfield, the press was being manipulated on the outside. From Walter Haut's release of the press release that they captured a flying saucer, the news storyline was debris confirmed as a weather balloon. Roswell Army Airfield retracts flying saucer claims. And of course, photos of balloon wreckage was shown to the media. And Major Jesse Marcel, the very man who had first handled the crashed debris and supported the flying saucer story, was publicly humiliated. While back inside the hangar, the truth was being dissected. Colonel Blanchard told people, burn the original photos. If this leaks, we'll lose control of the entire country. Well, the low-ranking photographer, Private Dale Sheets, had secretly snapped 2 unauthorized photos of the beings before they were locked away. He said later on during an interview, officials found me within the hour, took my cameras, my negatives, even threatened my family. I was told if I ever spoke about what I'd seen, I'd disappear too. Well, in the 1993 MJ-12 document, a lot of classified details were leaked. According to the leaked MJ-12 biological report, it was an unknown species. It was 3 feet 9 inches tall. The skin was gray, smooth, and odorless. The head was large. The cranium was 2.5 times the size of a human. The eyes were black, almond-shaped, no irises. The limbs had 4 fingers, no nails. They were elongated. The internal organs consisted of 1 central circulatory node, no stomach, no intestines. No larynx, no vocal cords were detected. And the cause of death was undetermined. Well, inside Hangar 84, the last breath of truth was silenced that night. The bodies were eventually moved to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and allegedly to Area 51. But Roswell was where it all began, the first physical encounter with beings not of this earth. They weren't here to attack, according to Dr. Dwyer, as he wrote in a private letter. They were scouts, and we killed them. The silence that followed wasn't peace, it was containment. Well, Area 51 has become an infamous location that's been surrounded by mystery for decades. It holds secrets that are not just hidden in classified document files, but are also concealed in plain sight. As the world's most enigmatic military base, the association with UFOs and extraterrestrial life and government cover-ups has fueled one of the most compelling conspiracy theories in modern history. We're going to talk about the hidden evidence that the public has overlooked, or perhaps just ignored, when it comes to understanding the true nature of Area 51. The official declassified documents, cryptic photos, videos, and even eyewitness accounts. All the evidence points to a much larger story, one that's been buried beneath layers of secrecy and deliberate misinformation and controlled narratives. Also going to look at some of the key pieces of unseen evidence and examine how the public, despite having access to these facts, is often kept in the dark about the truth. One of the most critical pieces of evidence lies in the declassified documents that have slowly emerged over the years. Despite the grip on Area 51 secrecy, various records have been released, revealing more than the government would have liked to disclose. According to these documents, various classified operations have long been linked to the research and development of the experimental aircraft. Also, what many believe are attempts to cover up the existence of extraterrestrial technology. In 1997, the CIA declassified a trove of documents related to Area 51, a lot of which have been classified for decades. The documents primarily discuss projects like Project Oxcart, a top-secret U.S. Air Force program to develop the A-12 reconnaissance aircraft, and Project Aurora. It's rumored to be a hypersonic aircraft. But what stands out among these documents are the peculiar mentions of the base's connection to the unexplained materials that don't fit the known technology of the time. Well, in a line from one of the reports, it says unconventional materials may be stored on site, but their usage and origins remain classified. Well, this single line raises more questions than it answers. Is it possible that these materials refer to alien technology? Or are they simply advanced military-grade equipment beyond public comprehension? Well, as you go through the material, another critical source of hidden evidence comes from eyewitnesses who've worked at or near Area 51 over the years. Several former employees of the base have come forward to describe strange occurrences they witnessed while working there. These whistleblowers have provided a glimpse into the kinds of activities that are often hidden from the public eye. First and foremost, of course, is a man by the name of Bob Lazar, one of the most famous whistleblowers in the history of Area 51. He claimed to have worked on reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology at a site near the base. He described seeing several flying saucers of unknown origin and often said he was often tasked with understanding their propulsion systems. In 1989, he went public with his allegations, providing details of the technologies he said to have worked on. He claimed the U.S. government was studying flying saucers which were powered by a material called Element 115, substance not found naturally on Earth. Now, of course, his story was met with skepticism, but a lot of aspects of his account, including the nature of the technology, eerily matched up with later scientific research and developments. His testimony, along with those of other whistleblowers, offers a glimpse into what might be hidden beneath the surface. These individuals claim to have been involved in secret projects related to alien technology, which suggests the government has been harboring information far beyond what the public's been led to understand. Maybe one of the most disturbing and compelling pieces of hidden evidence comes from the mysterious photographs and videos that have surfaced over the years. While many have been dismissed as hoaxes that are the product of overactive imaginations, others do remain unexplained. Early 1990s, a photographer by the name of John Lear, a former airline pilot and son of the inventor of the Lear jet, took several photos of strange craft near the area surrounding Area 51. These photos that show unidentified flying objects hovering near the base were later scrutinized by analysts who believe they might be evidence of highly advanced military aircraft, or maybe alien technology being tested. Additionally, videos taken by unknown sources have surfaced showing what many believe to be objects flying in and out of Area 51. These recordings, some of which show erratic flight patterns that can't be replicated by any known aircraft, fuel the theory the U.S. government has had contact with extraterrestrial entities and been reverse engineering their technology for decades. And despite the continuous flow of such images and videos, they remain shrouded in mystery, with little to no official explanation provided. As a result, these pieces of evidence have become part of a much larger conspiracy theory. This theory paints Area 51 as the focal point of a global cover-up. What the significance of the evidence discussed by various sources can't be overstated. While much of it remains under wraps, the release of certain documents and photographs and testimonies of former insiders paint a picture of a hidden reality that most of the world has not yet fully understood. The importance of these findings isn't just about proving the existence of extraterrestrial technology, but rather about understanding the bigger picture. If the government's been concealing information about UFOs and extraterrestrial life for so long, what else is being hidden from the public? What are the real reasons behind the secrecy surrounding Area 51? I remember when I took that busload of people there back in late 80s, early 90s. we were being covertly watched. People crawling under bushes and hacking into the radios we had on board the bus. For decades, the public's been fed a steady stream of disinformation, leading many to believe that these subjects are nothing more than fantasy. But the actual truth, as revealed by a lot of hidden evidence, may be more complex and far more unsettling than anybody has imagined. As more documents are declassified, more whistleblowers come forward, and more pieces of the puzzle are revealed, it becomes clear that the story of Area 51 is not one that can be easily dismissed. The evidence, though often hidden or downplayed, is there. It points to a reality that could forever alter our understanding of history and technology and the very nature of our existence. Well, as we do more shows on various related topics, we're going to explore some of the most significant pieces of hidden evidence surrounding Area 51. From declassified documents to eyewitness testimonies and mysterious photographs, frankly, the facts speak for themselves. While the government continues to deny any connection between Area 51 and extraterrestrial technology, the evidence suggests that there's far more to the story than we're being told. Well, the name Area 51 itself is synonymous with mystery and secrecy, been woven into the very fabric of global pop culture. And it's more than just a military base in the desert of Nevada. It's become a symbol of the unknown, a place where government cover-ups and extraterrestrial conspiracies intersect. And over the decades, it's inspired countless works of fiction, movies, television shows, books, and even music. The mythology surrounding the base has grown far beyond its real-world origins. We're going to talk a lot about Area 51. Now, the story of Area 51's influence on pop culture is as much about its secrecy as it is about the stories that people have built around it. For decades, the government's refusal to acknowledge the very base's existence, let alone its activities, has only fueled speculation. In the 50s and 60s, the UFO phenomena gained significant momentum. Multiple reported sightings of strange aerial phenomena. The public, which of course has been hungry for answers, was captivated by the idea that secret military installations like Area 51 were behind the mysterious sightings. One of the earliest significant pop culture references to Area 51 came from 1967 when Frank Scully, a journalist and author, published a book called Beyond the Flying Saucers. In that book, he claimed the U.S. government had been in possession of alien spacecraft for years. This wasn't just the beginnings of alien conspiracy theories, it also marked the start of Area 51's entry into the mainstream culture. And his book would later become one of the many pieces of literature that contributed to the building mythos of the base. And the film industry, of course, has played a major role in shaping the public's perception of Area 51. It's almost impossible to talk about the influence of the base on pop culture without discussing the films that have immortalized the base. Maybe one of the most iconic representations of Area 51 in the film was Steven Spielberg's 1977 blockbuster, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. In that film that involves around the mysterious appearance of extraterrestrial beings, there's a notable scene out of a secret military base that a lot of folks have interpreted as being a reference to Area 51. Though the base is never named, its depiction as a top-secret government facility studying UFOs and alien life is a direct nod to the real-world Area 51. Next major film to further cement Area 51's place in pop culture was Roland Emmerich's Independence Day in 1996. It was a high-budget science fiction movie centered around an alien invasion of Earth, with much of the government's research into extraterrestrial technology being conducted in secret in Area 51. And in that film, the base is portrayed as the place where the U.S. government stores a captured alien spacecraft, using its technology to develop advanced weapons. According to that film, Area 51 is the focal point for alien research that's helped perpetuate the belief the base was indeed the site of extraterrestrial encounters and technological discoveries. Well, after the success of Independence Day, other films continued to explore Area 51 as a key plot point. Men in Black in 1997. A comedic take on extraterrestrial encounters featured a secret government agency tasked with monitoring, controlling alien activity on Earth. And though that film doesn't focus specifically on Area 51, it's clear the agency's work draws on the widespread lore surrounding the base. Then there's the X-Files. Now, interestingly enough, I wrote a treatment for one of my early books and gave it to an individual to look about helping me get it disseminated. Corny later told me he gave it to a man named Chris Carter, the creator of what became known as the X-Files. It's been known as one of the most influential TV shows in history when it comes to UFOs, aliens, and government cover-ups. The show centers around FBI agents investigating paranormal phenomena, including extraterrestrial sightings, and over time, the X-Files developed a mythology centered on Area 51. That's where secret government experiments and alien technologies were stored, according to the story. The show's portrayal of the base as a central hub of government secrecy became deeply entrenched in pop culture. And through its iconic theme, song, and tense conspiracy-driven storylines, the X-Files popularized the notion Area 51 was the central focus of the government's UFO-related activities. Of course, I got no credit for coming up with the concept, because when I tried to talk to Mr. Carter, he wouldn't give me the time of day. Well, today, Area 51 has transcended its physical location and is now a cultural icon, referenced in music and literature and internet. Been woven into the fabric of the digital age, where conspiracy theorists and UFO enthusiasts can share their ideas and build on the mythology that's grown up over the years. Proliferation of social media has ensured the legend of Area 51 remains alive and well, with new generations continuing to explore its mysteries. In recent years, the influence of Area 51 in pop culture has been amplified through social media. In 2019, there was a Facebook event titled Storm, Area 51. They can't stop all of us. And that event went viral. Initially meant as a joke, the event quickly turned into an international phenomenon. Thousands of people claiming they'd attempt to storm the base and uncover its secrets. Though the event was ultimately a humorous social media stunt, it underscored how deeply ingrained Area 51 had become in popular culture. The storming of Area 51 never took place as planned, but it did give rise to a massive number of memes and parodies and even music videos. One of the most popular was the viral Area 51 raid anthem. It was seen on YouTube, which quickly gained millions of views. The memes and the videos surrounding the storming of Area 51 further solidified its place in modern pop culture as fun, bizarre, and enduring part of conspiracy theory lore. The influence of Area 51 is even extended into the music world, with artists incorporating themes of secrecy and aliens and UFOs into their work. Popular bands and musicians have referenced the base, often portraying it as a symbol of government cover-up and extraterrestrial research. In Tom DeLonge's music career, particularly with his band Angels and Airways, themes of alien life and government conspiracy play a central role in a lot of their songs. His fascination with UFOs and extraterrestrial life has led him to actively investigate these phenomena. And he's talked about his desire to expose the truth about Area 51 in various interviews. Additionally, the Offspring and their song All I Want humorously referenced the mystery of Area 51 with lyrics that imply the existence of aliens and secret government operations. And though not a serious take on the subject, it does show how the mythos surrounding the base is permeated into popular music culture. And the influence of Area 51 also extends into literature, where a lot of authors have incorporated the base into their fictional works. Authors such as Whitley Strieber and John Lear have written books that delve into the secretive nature of Area 51, intertwining government conspiracy theories with extraterrestrial mythology. In novels like Communion in 1987, Strieber discusses his alleged alien abduction experiences, which he believes are tied to the activities of Area 51. When I interviewed him, almost 40 years ago now, we touched base on that. In the world of video games, Area 51 has appeared as the central element in several titles, including the 1999 arcade game of the same name. It's a first-person shooter. Players are tasked with escaping from the base while facing off against hostile aliens and military personnel. That game, like so many works of fiction, further cements Area 51 place as an ultimate symbol of secrecy and alien technology. The enduring impact of Area 51 on pop culture can't be overstated. From early days of UFO sightings to its immortalization in Hollywood blockbusters, Area 51 has become the ultimate symbol of secrecy and alien life and government cover-up. Continues to inspire a range of creative works across various media and remains a central figure in conspiracy theories. And as long as Area 51 continues to exist, it'll fuel the imagination of artists and filmmakers and writers. And for the public, it does remain a symbol of the unknown, enigmatic place where maybe the answers to some of the greatest questions of our time are hidden just beyond reach. Area 51 undoubtedly remain a fixture in popular culture for years to come, keeping its secrets and captivating the world's curiosity in equal measure. Well, as the decades roll on, the allure of Area 51 continues to captivate the imagination of millions of people around the world. Association with secrecy and government cover-ups and extraterrestrial research has turned it into a symbol of both fear and fascination. But as we move further into the 21st century, you have to ask yourself, what might be the future of Area 51? Is it a relic of the Cold War? Is it just the support for Cold War era paranoia and conspiracy theories? Will new developments force the world to confront its mysteries once and for all? Well, we're going to examine the ongoing government secrecy surrounding the base, the implication of recent revelations, and the continued fascination with its mysteries. From new government transparency initiatives to the possibility of scientific disclosure about extraterrestrial life, the future of Area 51 continues to remain uncertain. But its legacy is going to continue to shape how we view the unknown. In the past, the government's response to inquiries about Area 51 has been one of complete denial. In fact, at the time I took that busload of people there, the government denied it even existed. For years, officials would neither confirm or deny the existence of that base. That strategy kept the base shrouded in secrecy, fueling speculation and conspiracy theories. But in recent years, the U.S. government slowly begun to change its approach. One of the most significant turning points came in 2017 when no less an authority than the New York Times published an article revealing the existence of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, secret Pentagon initiative that had studied UFOs and other unidentified aerial phenomena for years. The revelation of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program was a huge moment for UFO enthusiasts. It was the first time the government acknowledged the existence of an official program dedicated to studying the unexplained. With the ending of Project Blue Book, we were told they weren't going to waste any more money on things like UFO investigations. And then we find this multi-million-dollar program kept secret. And although the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program did not specifically mention Area 51, it did open the door for greater transparency regarding UFO phenomena. In 2020, the Pentagon declassified several videos showing UFOs captured by U.S. military pilots. These videos, which are widely shared on social media, further stoked public interest in the subject of extraterrestrial life and government cover-ups. And this release signaled a shift toward acknowledging the unknown. A lot of folks believed it could lead to a larger conversation about what's actually happened in Area 51. With the push for transparency and disclosure is gaining momentum, recently members of Congress have begun to ask pointed questions about the existence of extraterrestrial life, military cover-ups, and the role of bases like Area 51. And as political pressure continues to mount, it's possible that future revelations will change the narrative about Area 51 and bring us closer to understanding the true nature of the phenomena that's long been associated with that base. And while government transparency is evolving, advancements in technology also promise to open new doors in the investigation of Area 51 and other secretive military installations. In the past, UFO enthusiasts, researchers, and journalists have had to rely on grainy footage and witness testimony and old rumors to piece together the story of this mysterious base. With the advent of satellite imaging and drone technology and advanced infrared cameras, it's becoming easier than ever for civilians to observe and monitor restricted areas from afar. Satellite imaging has already made a significant impact on the study of Area 51. Companies like Planet Labs and Maxar technologies provide high-resolution satellite images that can track changes at the military installations around the world, including the mysterious Area 51. These images can show construction and movement of military vehicles and even unusual activity near the base. And although they can't directly confirm the presence of extraterrestrial technology, they do provide valuable insight into what's actually happening at the base. Another technology that is helping to shed light on secret government activities is the use of drones. They're becoming increasingly sophisticated, capable of capturing high-definition videos and infrared imagery. Some enthusiasts have already used drones to conduct flyovers of Area 51, capturing footage of the base and surrounding areas. And while these flyovers are actually illegal and heavily scrutinized by the government, they represent a growing trend of civilian involvement in uncovering the mystery surrounding Area 51. Infrared technology is also improving the ability to track objects that are invisible to the naked eye. Military installations like Area 51 are often shrouded in secrecy, and officials are known to take extraordinary measures to keep activities at the base hidden. But infrared sensors can detect heat signatures from aircraft and military vehicles and other activity that might be otherwise undetectable. As infrared technology becomes more advanced, it'll likely provide new insights into the activities taking place at the base. Together, these technological advancements represent a new era in the investigation of Area 51. While the base's mysteries may never be fully revealed to the public, these tools allow researchers and civilians to ask new questions and gather evidence that was once impossible to obtain. And the rise of the internet and social media has brought about a new era of conspiracy theories surrounding Area 51. Platforms like Reddit and YouTube and Twitter allowed people to share their ideas and experiences and theories about the base with a global audience. And this has led to the creation of entire online communities dedicated to uncovering the truth about Area 51, aliens, and UFOs. These online communities have played an important role in shaping the future of Area 51 and the lore that has come to light about it. While some of these theories are outlandish and unsubstantiated, others have brought attention to legitimate questions about the base. A lot of online theorists believe the U.S. government's hiding information about extraterrestrial life, and they're using platforms like Facebook and Twitter to rally support for their cause. One notable example is the Storm Area 51 event that took place in 2019. Started out as a joke on Facebook, but it quickly turned into a massive viral event with millions of people expressing their intention to storm the base and uncover its secrets. And though that event was actually a humorous social media stunt, it demonstrated the enduring fascination people have with Area 51 and the lengths to which they're willing to go to uncover the truth. Well, the future conspiracy theory surrounding Area 51 is likely to continue to evolve. More information is declassified, more people gain access to advanced technology, the possibility of uncovering the truth about the base becomes more likely. But as history has shown, even when new information is revealed, it often raises more questions than it answers. Keeps the public engaged in the mystery for years to come. And while the Area 51 remains at the center of the UFO conspiracy narrative, the growing focus on UFOs and extraterrestrial life suggests the next chapter in the story of Area 51 may not be about secrecy, but about openness. Declassification of UFO footage and growing interest in extraterrestrial life from both the public and the scientific community may even eventually lead to the government disclosing more information about its research. U.S. government's increased openness about UFOs, particularly through programs like AATIP, has sparked interest in what the next steps will be. We could be on the verge of discovering proof of extraterrestrial life. And maybe Area 51 will play a role in its revelation. The future of Area 51 could very well be shaped by these developments, as the base has long been at the heart of government research into UFOs and alien technology. And additionally, a lot of new scientific initiatives are being developed to explore the possibilities of life beyond the Earth. The SETI Institute, of course, is working on advanced methods of detecting extraterrestrial signals, while missions like NASA's James Webb Space Telescope are searching for signals of life in distant exoplanets. The next few decades could see a significant shift in how humanity views its place in the universe. Area 51 may play a role in that transformation. The future of Area 51 remains uncertain, of course. But one thing is very clear. Its influence is not likely to fade anytime soon. As government transparency increases, technology advances, and conspiracy theories evolve, the the myths surrounding Area 51 continue to evolve and grow. And whether or not the base is truly hiding extraterrestrial life or advanced technology, it's always going to serve as a symbol of humanity's curiosity about the unknown. In the years to come, the mystery of Area 51 is going to continue to capture the public's imagination, ensuring its legacy is going to persist well into the future. And as we move forward, the main question remains, will the truth about Area 51 ever be revealed? Or it's going to remain locked away, a secret kept for generations to come? Only time will tell, of course, but one thing is certain. The mystery of Area 51 is going to continue to intrigue and fascinate us for years to come. For over 70 years, the very mention of Area 51 has sparked curiosity and fear and a lot of questions across the world. Tucked away in the vast silence of the Nevada desert, protected by top-tier military security and surrounded by rumors that stretch the boundaries of science fiction and reality, it's become not just a base, but a myth in itself. And in our shows, we've traveled deep into those shadows. We've examined documented aircraft test programs that shaped the Cold War. We've talked about testimonies from engineers and military personnel who speak in hushed tones about what they've seen and touched. We've talked about the town of Roswell, where the mystery first ignited. And all this time, though, while official narratives insisted on weather balloons and black ops aircraft, there were always cracks in the surface. Cracks through which strange lights escaped and unusual objects were seen in the sky. The main Rachel, Nevada is right on the edge of Area 51. That's where I took the busload of people. And at Rachel, Nevada, at the time, population 12, there was a business called the Little Alien, where folks from the base came out to enjoy a nice, peaceful diner-type meal, and they had what they called, laughingly, the Rachel, Nevada Hilton, which was half a dozen travel trailers scattered across the desert. That's where the people I took stayed. We saw a lot of strange things in the night sky. And among my archive, I have a lot of the shows I did at that time when I was doing adventure radio. I'm going to see about getting some of those up. On that note, we come to the end of today's show. We'll be back Monday, because today is Friday. When once again, you'll be listening to Ken Hudnall on the Ken Hudnall Show. Until then, y'all have a great weekend.